thanking everyone coming today. I know this is a very difficult time for everyone here and for everything that is happening in our world today. But thank you for coming. I know many more would have loved to have been here, but for their own reasons, they were not able to, and that is why we're deciding to record today, so we can share with all those people who want to be there in spirit. I also want to thank everyone for calling and emailing the family. Thank you for all of your kind words, your laughter. All of that really means a great deal to all of us. I'm not going to talk too long here, but I just want to say a few words, about our mom. She was a very kind, caring, and extremely generous person. And she had a very, very strong heart and an extremely vibrant spirit. And I think that was obvious to every person that knew her. She loved to laugh. She was quick to laugh. And she just reveled in any conversation she had with anyone that she ran across, whether they be a lifelong friend or maybe someone she might have just met. She was at ease with everyone. There were hardly a person that I know that she didn't feel her kindness to, and someone that she had an affinity for. She had a lot of challenges in her life, dealing with all of her physical challenges, starting when she was a very young girl with her rheumatoid arthritis. It was something that she dealt with, from the very start. She certainly had more than her fair share of physical challenges, but it didn't get her down. It didn't make her a sour person. It didn't make her a negative person. In fact, I think it made her a more positive person and someone that was joyous and could share joy with others, really at a moment's notice. She didn't complain really about her physical ailments, and she always had positive things to say. And for me, that's a true testament of her kind and caring spirit, and something I will always admire and cherish about her. Mom had many friends. In fact, she made friends wherever she went. We wished more could be here today, but we know why today they are not here. But they are here with us in spirit, and I know that. Deep down in my heart, because I've heard from so many of them. If you were lucky enough to be her friend, you could count on her as a friend for life. And there was no one that I can ever remember that crossed her so terribly that she didn't consider them a friend anymore. She was quick to let bygones be bygones. She just reveled in the joy and the happiness and all things that were good. She was in contact with many friends, even from her grammar school days. And not many people can really say that this day and age. And she made a point and an effort to nourish those friendships. And I think that that's a rare trait these days, and I admire her for that. She relied on her strong faith in God. She relied on her tenacity and her spunk to get her through the many difficult times that she had to go through. This last year was very difficult for her, but the minute she was feeling just a little bit better, you could see that she would perk right up, and she would be her usual spunky, sassy self if the situation called for it. It was pretty remarkable. She was an inspiration to many people, many people. And there are many people who will miss her very much. You know, she was, the other thing about Mom is she was always very practical. You know, she was a very practical lady. And from her, I certainly learned a lot. She was truly a special person, and our world is a lot less bright without her in it. We will miss you, Mom, but you will always, always be in our hearts. So thank you for coming today, and thank you for being her friend, and thank you so much for sharing not only her life with you, but your life with her, and by extension, all of us, Marcus and Susan and I. So thank you so much. Thank you. And now Susan's going to come and recite a poem.
Thank you, everyone, for being here today. My mother seemed so far away from me on the beautiful white shore across the sea. Yet I remember one soft glow upon her face and the feel of her touch and tender embrace. When I am weary from the burdens I've borne and the path is unclear and I feel so forlorn, I remember her loving support was always near, and her advice made the path ahead seem clear. When I feel there is no one who seems to care, or when the heartache seems too hard to bear, I remember how she always stood by my side. When there were moments of great joy and pride, and I wish my mother was standing at my side, I remember she saw more than I thought I could be. And I know I owe my triumphance to her belief in me. When I reminisce about the things she used to say, and I miss her and think she is so far away, I remember what she gave lives on through me, and one day I'll see her on the shore across the sea. Thank you.
So if there's someone that would like to come up and say a few words, we welcome you. Is there someone that would like to come? Rose, Kathy? Great. Thank you, Wayne.
My name is Wayne Walsky, and my wife Mary was here tonight. We moved here from Milwaukee many years ago, and about 32 years ago, went to the Wisconsin picnic, and guess who we met? Alice and the unforgettable Obi. We've been friends for many years, and I know it's a serious occasion, but you'll have to bear with me, because anytime I was in a room with this woman, it was a wonderful, enthusiastic time, full of belly laughs, old stories. And I think the main reason I wanted to step up here tonight is to tell a little bit about Alice, because we saw her just 2 days before she died. We went over to her house. She was there with her caregiver. In fact, when we walked in, she was in a couch off of the kitchen there and surrounded by pillows and quilts, and I couldn't see her. And then we saw something small wiggling there in the chair, and of course it was Alice and that beaming smile of hers. And if you knew it was there, you could see it a mile away. We went into her favorite place, you all know it, is that glassed garden room, which Dick Hahn built for her some years ago. She loved it out there. She came in with her walker. Mary and I sat down with her. The background was a sunny day. Out the windows, some of her plants were still blooming, just as stubborn as she was. And we sat there and we had an adult beverage. We ate crackers and, of course, Wisconsin cheese. Alice was full of life. Mine was sharp. We talked about many things, picnics that we'd been at, of course. We talked of picnics in our backyard. We talked of crab feeds. We talked of Christmas parties that we had been to, wine tastings. It was all good. As we ate and talked, she seemed to be getting stronger. That sparkle that we all know she had. We talked about many things, Wisconsin, Catholic schools, teen bars, sock hops, the Green Bay Packers. With enthusiasm and her mind as sharp as ever, correcting me, how dare she, about certain dates in the 1950s. So we laughed, we had a wonderful time. You should know that she was full of full-throated laughs, belly laughs almost. Her stories were told with gusto, and we reminisced many times about our favorite global event, the Wisconsin picnic. We were so attracted to Alice and you know she worked for Luther Burbank Savings. We took most of our savings out of other banks and we put it over at Luther Burbank because of Alice Obuchowski. Because think about it, if you can't trust Alice with your money, who can you trust? It was a pleasure knowing her for all these years, and of course Obi as well. We spent almost 2 hours there. And when we said our goodbyes, and Mary and I were back in the car, I marveled to her just how could this tiny, oh so physically challenged lady sparkle each and every time we saw her. As Sara says, that was the case. And in fact, it was curious that you used the word sparkle. And I should have used the word while we sat there and talked with her, how sassy she was. Because she was. It was Alice in full bloom. I thought about how any of us who had had the same physical tribulations would have acted. Many of us would have given up. We would have maybe given in. Not Alice. What an inspiration Alice Obuchowski was. What an inspiration Alice Obuchowski is.
Thank you, Wayne. And Wayne and Mary, thank you for being with her on that Sunday. That was really remarkable. Is there someone else who would like to come up? Jean, please.
I'm Jane Harrison. I first met my dear friend Alice in 1975 when her family moved here from Huntington Beach. She, Obie, and their 3 young children, Marcus, Sara, and Susan, bought a house just across this cul-de-sac from me. It was a new housing development, and most of us were new in Santa Rosa. There was no landscaping in, there were no fences. We were all out in the cul-de-sac constantly, and we really got to know each other. Many of the neighbors became fast friends and spent lots of time together, and I do mean lots and lots of time. Alice and Obie welcomed me as though I was family. I was newly widowed and had just come to town because my parents had moved here while I was in college. I was not from Santa Rosa. So Alice indeed became I'm going to say she was my best friend. And my first real friend here in Santa Rosa, and the one that I've known the longest. Even when I moved out of the family-oriented, which some of you will recognize that phrase from Obie, cul-de-sac, my friendship with all of the Obuchowskis continues to this day. I have so many wonderful memories of Alice and of the whole family. And sadly, I was not here in state when Obie died, so I was not able to be at his funeral. So I guess I'm kind of looking at both Alice and Obie. But some of those things I remember. The surprise birthday party we threw for Alice at Catalan's. I think it was for her 50th, but I'm not positive. It might have been a 40 or 50. I'm a little unclear on that one. And I can't find my photo albums. All the many, many holiday meals and activities, fireworks on the 4th of July out in the middle of the cul-de-sac. New Year's Eves, we spent, I don't know how many New Year's Eves together, but I must admit that as all of us got older, we moved midnight, first to 11 o'clock, and then to 10 o'clock, and then finally to 9 o'clock. We just pretended we were someplace else, and we had our party, but we went home. New Year's Day, it became a tradition for quite a while up at Princeton that we would have New Year's breakfast at my house, and we'd cook a big ham, and we'd all be there, and the party continued the whole day. Because as soon as we got finished with breakfast, we would make spaghetti and have that for dinner. And many people came and went. They'd come for a couple of hours, go home and do something, and come back. The TV was on, and we had fantastic times. I spent many Christmases, many Easters, many Halloweens, or at least portions of them, with the Obuchowskis and with many, many of their friends and family when the family was visiting. I especially remember the Christmas time shopping trips with Alice, Sharon, and Helga to the meandering Cost Plus warehouses in San Francisco. For those of you who remember, you could lose each other in there as you wandered around this labyrinth. And then we always finished up with a late lunch, but we tried to leave San Francisco by no later than 4 o'clock, so we didn't hit too much traffic. I spent lots and lots of time in Alice's kitchen, sometimes with us sitting on the floor, enjoying a glass of wine. Well, Alice usually had a beer. Very occasionally, we would sneak a cigarette because Obie didn't let Alice smoking, and every once in a while, the two of us would just say, "To heck with that, we'll have a cigarette." Didn't happen very often. And I don't know whether Obie ever really realized it or not. We never asked. I often joined them for taco night, which was a regular ritual, and for the Sunday chicken dinner. The crab feast. Oh my goodness, the crab feast we all attended, and then the crowd just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger over the years, and Alice would coordinate everything. First we were at the Druids, and then at St. Rose with the Knights of Columbus. We had some fantastic times. Then there's the New Year's Day that I returned home to my house having been TP'd. I don't know whether Alice took part in it, but I wouldn't be surprised that she might have added a little toilet paper to the house. I will admit that the girls came and cleaned it up afterwards. So. Alice volunteered for so many different groups. She's the Girl Scouts. I don't know how many years she headed up their annual cookie drive. Their garage would be full of cookies, Girl Scout cookies. I helped her with that sometimes. I even taught some cooking classes for the Girl Scouts in my kitchen. I think maybe Susan was in the Brownies at the time. I don't know for sure. I don't quite remember. The Klein Festival, Jazz Festival. I don't know how many years she worked at that. It was fantastic. The Santa Rosa Symphony Pops concerts, when they were at Sonoma State before they built the Green Music Center. She helped me with the raffle, which we needed to have in order to be able to pay the cost of the concert. Trad Jazz, she and Obie were there often and just really involved. I have some really fond memories of waking up in the morning and on the weekends and seeing a lot of little girls traipsing across the cul-de-sac with sleeping bags in their hands, pillows, and various and sundry other things. On Saturday or Sunday morning, sometimes both of them, and in the summertime, you never knew what day it was going to be. It was indeed a family-oriented neighborhood, and everybody had a great time. Marcus mowed my lawn for years, and I really appreciated that. One year, Alice and I drove down to Huntington Beach. She wasn't so sure about driving, but she was fine with my driving. So we went down and visited her friend Ellie, staying with her. I was welcomed as if I was part of Alice's family. We had a great time on the drive down and a great time on the drive back. I last saw Alice in March, right before COVID shut everything down. My mother is still with me, and she's 94. And in deference to my mom, I stay away from Alice, and I'm sorry that it needed to be that way. That's one of the things I regret the most, was that I had not seen her since March. I remember her telling me that the doctors in Southern California told her she would be in a wheelchair by the time she was 30. Because of the arthritis. And she told me that at the time, she just said, that's not gonna happen. I refused to go along with that. And she did refuse to go along with it. She fought and fought a very long and a very valiant fight with the arthritis, and then later with her heart disease. She was an inspiration to all of us, I know. Alice had a special zest for life, a wonderful, unforgettable laugh, one of the best hearts I've ever seen. I'm going to miss her very, very much.
I didn't have an opportunity to prepare anything because I didn't realize that I would want to say anything today. I felt I would be mourning. I'm Lois Casper, and I met Alice through work. She was recommended to me by another dear friend of hers. And of course, based on that recommendation and on Alice as she presented herself to me, there was no choice. I was going to hire her to work with us at Southern California Savings. This was back in the mid-'80s. I've had the good fortune to have been not just her employer, but her good friend during all those years. We later worked together at Luther Burbank Savings. I was not the manager there, but I was able to make a recommendation to the manager
And he said, why would you want to hire somebody for 25 hours a week when we've allocated 40 hours for the need? And I said, the only person I'm interested in having come aboard to be part of this team is Alice. That gentleman went along with me, and he was very sorry he couldn't be here today. About 3 months into Alice's employment with Luther Burbank Savings, Mike came to me, that was the manager, and he said, you were right. And how often does that ever happen? Alice became a dear, dear friend, and once we were both retired, we would take the opportunity to be what we called ladies who do lunch. So it wasn't just work, it was play as well, because she for so many years put up with one Michigander, that being Obie. She was willing to put up with the second Michigander, and that would be me. So I was always welcomed with open arms, as was my husband, to family dinners, be it Thanksgiving, be it Christmas, the Wisconsin picnic. And then after my husband passed, Alice became even more dear to me because she, of course, was one of those people, as Sara described, who nourished her friendships. And she always reached out to me to ensure that, be it a holiday or a birthday, that I was wrapped in the warmth of her friendship. I know we will all miss her dearly, and we were all very blessed. Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to come up? Anybody? We're good? Okay. I have a poem that I'm going to read next. This poem is titled, I Hear the Angels Say. I thought I saw her face today in the sparkle of the morning sun, and then I heard the angels say, her work on earth is done. I thought I heard her voice today and laugh, her hearty laugh, and then I heard the angels say, there's peace, dear one, at last. I thought I felt her touch today in the breeze that rustled by. And then I heard the angel say, the spirit never dies. I thought I saw my broken heart in the crescent of the moon. And then I heard the angels say, the Lord is coming soon. I thought she had left me for the stars so far above. And then I heard the angels say, she left you with her love. I thought I would miss her so and never find my way. And then I heard the angel say, she's with you every day. The sun, the wind, the moon, the stars will forever be around, reminding you of the love you shared and the peace she's finally found. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. It really means a lot to all of us. And we hope you'll be able to join us at the Mass tomorrow at St. Eugene's